B5. Let's start really basic. J. Michael Straczynski as the writer, as the through line through all 5 seasons, did a great job. He wrote so many of the episodes for those crucial seasons, or is credited as the lead writer. I'm not sure how collaborative it was, but
yeah,
all I can say is he's credited as the writer on like 98% of the episodes in season 4 or season 3 or something absurd like that. And this is at a time when sci-fi, when television required 18 to 25 episodes a season. None of this 8 to 10 episode 20 minutes with commercials bullshit that we get today. No, this is 45 minutes of hard dick sci-fi on the Sci-Fi channel.
No.
And I say hard sci-fi because it's not like hard in the respect that let's do a lot of math and going through the chemistry and physics of everything. No, it's more like this is a sci-fi show about a station grounded in what is conceivable for a reality of the future with technology that you could conceivably develop. Like, there's stuff in Star Trek that is beyond aspirational. Faster than light travel is not something that we're going to see in, probably ever, but if it does happen, it'll be some crazy way. It won't be the way that we it won't be by literally breaking physics.
Like it's much more likely that an alien, the way it happens, an alien race comes, finds us, and be like, oh look, you're a long lost tribe of our distant ancestry. Well, we're gonna sell you this awesome technology that allows you to move throughout the galaxy. Great! And then start exploring.
If
that works,
if fast travel exists, it'll be some weird shit like that someone already has.
Yeah.
And that we had to pick it back off it, or we develop it ourselves independently, and it turns out that we're actually like either really early to the party or really late to the party, or somehow we're in the middle, but we're too far away from anybody to ever develop at the same time or meet each other. That's probably what's going to happen.
No, that's
exactly. Anyway,
no. That's
with B5. Like we can say that it is a more likely scenario because the societal ills of Earth have not been solved. The eternal struggle for freedom against fascism is absolutely still in play in the year 2250 and beyond. So in that respect, it's a little more grounded in reality. This isn't a utopia that they live in. There's war, there's hunger, there's poverty, there's bigotry, there's religious and economic strife and inequity. All these things still exist. Some things are better than they were before. Medicine is much more available, it seems like, and it's obviously better. There's a lot more advances to it. We've gotten technology from aliens that help humans as well. Synthetic blood and all that jazz. So there's a lot of improvements in the B5 world without it being so out of the realm of possibility and so aspirational that it almost turns to utopian unbelievability in moments.
Yeah. Star Trek definitely has the utopia part down pat. A little too much so. Yeah, B5 a lot more grounded in reality, gritty feeling. The individual fighters for in the defense of the ship. Whilst big capital ships engage themselves
at distances,
yes. Small,
and then try to shoot down smaller planes. The smaller planes do like strafing runs and do damage. Like
it makes
these
combat
ships
makes more sense.
Yeah. Star Trek combat was just sort of 2D, unfortunately. Even the best of it, I don't know. Like when you're looking at the way that it's presented and shown on screen, is maybe they they intended it to be working in 3D, but you never see a ship go like straight up the Z-axis to get around something.
No,
it's like we have to go through this. We can't go around it. No, we have to go through it. It would take longer to go around. Okay, whatever. It looks like a donut to me, but fine. Or they're coming right at us, Captain. Go up. Like at least Futurama has the slips that in one time. Go, 5 degrees left. To the direction of up.
To the direction of up.
Yeah, so they lean into that stuff. So I don't know. Ender's Game did it great too. Not the movie, sorry, the books.
Yeah.
Talking about how the enemy's gate is down and in zero gravity, perspective is what you make of it. And you can see that the model makers are limited to a 2D perspective when they're shooting these scenes from back in the day. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Even Star Wars has the same thing. We got some maneuvers, drift slightly to the left. It's been it's beaten to death, but it's a meme for a reason. It's hilariously slow and not a maneuver.
But then you have like the opposite extreme, like in the Kelvin timeline, where the Enterprise is whirling and twisting around in these improbably fast maneuvers. Where
just in case you guys aren't familiar with inertia, like they were smart to include inertial dampeners.
Yes.
And I don't know what the capabilities of these dampeners are or how they work. But yeah, I mean, anytime you move quickly, you are going to be exposed to G-forces in the direction of the turn, the opposite direction of the turn. So, you know, if you're turning left, you're going to feel that acceleration outwards to the right. We've all felt it in cars. And that's at a car going normal speed, 20 miles an hour around a curve. Now imagine something the size of several aircraft carriers spinning on its like longitudinal axis quickly.
Yeah.
How much force that would expose everyone inside to, and all the structure itself. Like, you watch the Titanic snap in half at only a 15 to 25 degree angle. Yeah, that's going to be like your insides. You get whipped out and you're toast. So that kind of stuff is hilariously dumb. But there's inertial dampeners, so that's fine. Now, Babylon 5 actually takes things like G-forces into account. It has a rotating section that creates the illusion or the gravity that the space station has. And then you've got combat tactics, where Captain Sheridan talks about the physiological differences between species and how some species are better able to withstand the G-forces of combat than humans are.
Yeah.
Boom. Like, all this shit matters in space just like it does on Earth. Just because there's no gravity doesn't mean inertia and getting your insides liquefied because of speed aren't possible.
Yeah, that is you know, like the point where they're early on in the Centauri Narn conflict, and he's instructing the pilots and saying, like, you know, like, some of the Centauri are willing to black out if it gives them the optimum firing position when they come to. So you have to keep this
Which
in
sounds
mind.
hysterically dumb, but whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, tell a fighter pilot, like, just black out. And just, when you come to, you'll be fine. Although, the difference being, when you are a fighter pilot in the atmosphere, you are very much gravity bound. So if you lose control of your fighter, you're not going to just continue on in the direction that you were continuing before at the same speed you were going, like you are in space. No, you're going to go down and crash.
Yeah. So there's a little more leeway in space for this. Yeah.
But I do appreciate the conversation about gravity and tactics and stuff like that. It shows that they put some thought into how space flight works. I mean, they even did some little things like certain fighters are able to operate in atmospheres while others aren't.
Yeah.
And that's because they have like special wings that fold down that are able to give them actual like lift through atmosphere, as opposed to just a thruster provides, I guess, force in certain. I'm not sure how pitch and yaw works in a Star Fury. I'm sure it does just fine. But
yeah,
you know, it doesn't do well in an atmosphere, obviously, unless it has these wings. So little touches like that are pretty cool. And then the other aliens, not all of them having artificial gravity, so having them strapped into their seats during combat is a nice touch that I appreciate. It's never really it's never talked about. It's just there, and I love that.
Yeah.
And the people of Babylon 5 feel like real people. I don't mean just the humans. I mean everything. Every organism that lives and inhabits and visits B5 that we're shown feels like they belong, feels like it's real. The station feels like it's fucking packed and bustling at all times.
Yeah. Like,
you never feel like you walk through the corridors of the Enterprise TNG era. It's no one's ever in a hurry. Even when it's red alert, people are like walking sedately, maybe with purpose, but that's as far as it goes. It's round 4. Let's get the fudge out of this room.
Yeah, or like the promenade on DS9. They're like, it's very
they never
rarely
really got
packed.
it to look right.
Yeah, it's always just a scant amount of people. All right, yeah, let's get that out of here.
So yeah, B5 does a way better job of showing us a believable station with believable people and believable issues too. Because, you know, one thing that Star Trek doesn't do at all, really, is give us just internal problems with the crew. I don't mean internal problems, just like,
oh shit,
a day in the life kind of stuff. They do some lower decks episodes, which is but like a day in the life episode where there's just a mundane station issue to like a diplomatic issue on board. Now Star Trek did it with Journey to Babel, but beyond that, I can't think of a lot of purely diplomatic or like individual problem solving internal kind of, and I'm not talking about personal conflicts like
the dolmen of the laughs.
I'm dealing with repressed trauma from my childhood, and it has to be expressed in song.
Wait, we'll try that once.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there's a station problem, and we are going to fix it. There's a crisis on the station, and we're going to work together as a team. We're going to fix it. And this doesn't actually have any bearing into the overarching story. This is just what we are doing. This is our challenge of the day.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you how we overcome it. And there's A and B plots and stuff like that. But I guess that's what you're able to do when you don't have exploration be a main driving factor in your storyline. like TOS is meant to be exploring. B5, they are envious of the explorers, but they aren't explorers. They want to be.
Yeah, 'cause season 2, episode 4, Distant Star, when Jack, with the explorer ship, when Jack comes and shit like that, Sheridan starts to be like, I wanted an explorer ship back in the day, and Jack was just like, I always figured we'd have this drink out in the Rim when you had your own ship instead of you being tied down to a desk.
Yeah, so that was a problem that was completely unique to Sheridan and his friend. And it became a teamwork experience to rescue his friend from a disaster in space.
And even that, and like that, and the way they rescued him is completely out of playbook too. Forming long dories into the water, lifeboat to lifeboat with string and shit like that. If it was close enough, that is what they would do. So that's a real world example brought into a future, scenario that. The mind is easily to grasp around because it makes sense instead of a bullet.
And then what do we actually get?
The warp manifold is leaking this type of stupid Titetrion particle, and we're going to follow this to 10,000 light years away, and because of you know what I mean?
Yeah, and because of that episode, we get to see our first glimpse of a shadow vessel destroying an Earth ship. This is the first inkling that Earth is going to have that they're around. So that's the only major overarching plot point. But beyond that, you've got the little things inside the station that are going on. So you see John Sheridan. This is early in his tenure as captain of Babylon 5. He's used to running the Agamemnon, his ship. And it's a warship. It cruises, it patrols, it does diplomacy, and it kicks ass.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's stuck in a station that orbits a distant planet in the middle of bumfuck in neutral zone. He doesn't get to explore. He doesn't get to kick ass. He has to sit and mediate disputes among nations. It's like watching Star Wars The Phantom Menace in real life forever. Just trade disputes and shit constantly.
That's actually not
and so
a bad metaphor.
So he is unhappy and he's unorganized. He doesn't know how to handle it. The stress is a different type of stress. And Ivanova's like, the fuck, dude? Like, I know you're better than this. What the hell's going on here? Like, it's not just about this. Like, you're just being a bitch. Tell me what's going on. Which is so awesome. And it shows you the level of trust that they already had. Mm-hmm. Now, they told you that they worked together previously. Now they're showing you that they worked together previously because they have that level of familiarity between each other. And they haven't been on station. He has not been on station long enough to have that. And yet it feels completely organic. Because we know they've been together before, and now we're shown it.
Yeah.
And so this is an episode that isn't plot heavy. It doesn't drive a ton of the overarching war against the shadows forward.
No.
But it starts setting the stage, and it is. I complain all the time about Rings of Power having nothing happening in its show, and you might be like, well, nothing happened in that episode either.
Oh,
it's
no.
Totally
you
fucking
explained
different.
everything that happened in that episode. Yeah, like the interpersonal relationships, how it works thing. There's sacrifice because one of the pilots dies. The second one is thought to be lost until he comes back just by the grace of whatever.
You give Lieutenant Keffer an actual job now.
Yeah.
So he becomes a more prominent role, which weirdly is actually a studio decision that J. Michael Straczynski just brilliantly was able to work in. But they wanted a hotshot pilot. It's a dumb thing. UPN or Warner Brothers, whoever the fudge was in control of that at that time. I know it changed hands a few times.
And he wasn't even, and Keffer wasn't even like that freaking hotshot either. He was, I mean, like, he definitely had some of his moments. So
Keffer was kind of a useless character, in general.
Yeah, he's not
totally useless, but and he's endearing.
No, yeah, my favorite episode.
Any of the characters,
with him is when all the ground pounders come and.
Dude, is that just another example of an episode that has nothing to do with the Shadow War that overarches most of the show?
Yep.
And yet it is such a goddamn good episode.
Yeah, because they introduce those two characters. I wish I remembered their exact names right now. They go from being kind of like dicks, and you're like, oh look, they're invading a space, to when you find out they die, you are sad. And then
all
also
within the
like
span of a 45-minute episode.
Garibaldi too.
Garibaldi has that relationship with Dodger. I remember her name.
Dodger.
She was cute.
Yeah.
And not coincidentally, I guess she's also played parts in Star Trek. Remember the episode Star Trek Mine? Starship Mine. It has both Patricia Tallman and that other actress in it as bad guys that Picard fights. The Starship Enterprise is taken over by some people, including Tuvok. Tuvok's on it too. It's fucking weird. Oh
no, I think I know which episode you're talking about. Yeah.
A lot of crossover in Star Trek and Babylon 5, and I'm sure all those kind of sci-fi shows got a crossover.